most popular politician on the left.
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's, Bernie is,
Bernie, yeah.
Bernie is, he's not a capitalist,
No, he's not. And he's also not president.
But
never would be.
But neither is Mamdani.
No, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people, they boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's real. When you can really show.
On the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. He is. He talks about, the things that communists say. He wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
Ma isn't backing down from torching Mamdani's socialist pipe dreams. In a brutal string of clips from real time, he rips into ideas like free grocery stores, free buses, and free schools, and it's an absolute demolition. The takedown is sharp, ruthless, and hits exactly where it hurts. So hit that subscribe button and let's get into it.
Finally, New World Democrats must recognize that Zohran Mamdani is the future of the party. Unfortunately, it's the Republican Party. Get it? And if you missed his victory speech in last week's mayoral election in New York, don't worry. You'll see it in every attack ad for the next 2 years. Now, Mamdani seems like a nice guy, and I congratulate him on an extraordinary political achievement. But before the whole left side of the country catches socialism fever, let's listen to the other big winner in last Tuesday's election, Virginia Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger, who, before the 24 election, said things like, if the party didn't shift to the center, we will get fucking torn apart. And we need to never use the word socialist or socialism ever again. Well, she was right, but they didn't listen. Typical, am I right, lady?
Ma delivers a blunt warning here. If Democrats ride the Mamdani wave into 2028 and make him their nominee, they're basically handing Republicans the win. It's a massive unforced error. Sure, the message might energize the progressive base, but outside that bubble, it falls apart fast. Swing voters won't just hesitate, they'll walk away.
The party has a clear choice here, very clear. One wing is saying don't ever use the word socialist again, and one is saying,
I am a democratic socialist.
Clear, huh? So how do we decide who's right? Well, it turns out we don't really have to flip a coin. We have the evidence. In 2024, 13 Democrats won in districts Trump also won, all moderates. This isn't rocket science. All the left-leaning think tanks have done autopsies on 2024, and they all came up with the same message: move to the center. Even the New York Times, which did so much to promote woke politics, now says the partisans are wrong. Moving to the center is the way to.
According to Ma, the data tells a clear story. Voters aren't locked into one side, they're choosing balance. In 2024, many supported Trump while still backing moderate Democrats down ballot. That's the signal. Moderation attracts crossover votes. Push too far left, and the support disappears.
Problem is, Gen Z thinks socialism's wired and capitalism's tired and billionaires are what's for dinner. And who can blame them? If you're 30 and still sharing a bathroom with roommates, capitalism isn't working for you. People will reject any economic system where there's strange hair on the soap. No one wants to be approaching middle age and still writing their name on food before they put it in the fridge. So they're quiet quitting capitalism and texting socialism that they're down to fuck. Thing is, socialism will fuck you. Because socialism, to put it simply, just doesn't work and has never worked.
Ma points straight to history. From the Soviet Union to Venezuela, these systems have repeatedly struggled in practice. Whether you agree or not, many voters see those examples and want to avoid anything that resembles them. That's what turns candidates like Mamdani into a risk on a national stage.
The Democrats, I read these 74% are for democratic socialism. Only 16% favor capitalism. Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars? If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this? If Mamdani is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great political.
The democratic shift towards socialism isn't just noticeable, it's dramatic. Even critics of mainstream Democrats often see them as more grounded than hardline socialists. Why? Because they still operate within a capitalist framework, flawed as it is. The alternative feels like a complete reset, and it's a gamble many voters won't take.
Is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, like, usher in?
So the key question, could a President Mamdani actually push the country in that direction? Not instantly, but slowly through policy, appointments, and long-term decisions it could move that way. And with growing support for those ideas inside the party, it wouldn't be impossible.
He has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time. It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party
I think
nationally.
the Republicans are going to.
When you let the Democrat socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela, just bad ideas. And again, this ugly streak, streak of anti-Semitism.
And this is where Ma's concern sharpens. It's not just about ideology, it's about elections. If Democrats lean fully into socialism, they risk making it incredibly easy for Republicans to win. The strategy could backfire in a big way.
Most popular politician on the left.
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie? Bernie is Bernie is. I mean, he's not a capitalist.
No, he's not, and he's also not president.
He's not. But
never would be.
But neither is Mamdani.
No, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They've boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's real. I mean, when you can really.
And here's the core point: political attacks are nothing new. But in this case, critics wouldn't need to stretch the truth much. The policies are already public and clearly stated. That makes the political fight far more straightforward.
It must be horrible for a guy like you, who you spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much. And here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah. I think every 20 years or so.
Wait.
We need every 20 years or so, we need a conspicuous, confined experiment with socialism so we can crack it up again.
Some stage, theory meets reality. Different countries have tried versions of these systems with mixed and often difficult results. That history shapes how many voters see the debate today.
Socialist slogan used to be, workers of the world unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. The new socialist slogan is, trust us, this time it won't be a mess. So, when the post-war Labour government in Britain was about to get started, one of their leading lights was a socialist named Nurian Bevan. He said, what could go wrong? He said, we have a nation bedded on coal, surrounded by fish. It would take an organizational genius to have a shortage of either. In 3 years, they had a shortage of both.
Ma, who's long identified as a liberal, raises these concerns. it stands out. Voter trends, historical examples, and current reactions all suggest the same thing: these policies remain a tough sell nationally. If Democrats want to compete, the pressure to move toward the center will only grow. Otherwise, 2028 could be a serious setback.